Welcome to the Ampéritif podcast. Ampéritif is a play on words. It comes from aperitif, a word that describes a drink you might have before a meal, and Ampéritif is a podcast with yours truly as the host. I'm Mike Lauer, host of the Ampéritif podcast. The amp in Ampéritif is inspired by the music industry. Our guests on the podcasts will typically be musicians or entertainers, people in the entertainment industry. And we're hoping that this podcast stimulates your appetite for music and entertainment, and that you get out and see live music, live entertainment. And we hope that you go see our guests when they perform. And this is episode 001. And our first guests on our first episode are Kevin and Paige Baker. Paige.
Can I make a drink?
Can you make a drink?
Yeah, just finished this water
Or
here.
do you want to wait for the new one?
Well, we're gonna
Well, that might be in a bit, so
let's start.
I think you want to start with.
Yeah, let's just jump in with it.
The drink?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah, but maybe you could help me out because I guess I'm going to confess right off the bat. Episode 1, I'm not really much for like drink mixing. I'm not a mixologist. Never been a bartender. I hired somebody on Fiverr to invent this drink for the podcast.
Oh.
Like hired paid?
Like, yeah, Paige. She's out of the UK. She's super awesome.
What?
And
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
We're just gonna keep using her because she does.
Oh,
good
now
work.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. So this drink has never been made before, so it's a brand new drink. We invented it for this show for our guests today, Kevin and Paige Baker. And I'll have to admit, Kevin, it's mostly inspired by Paige.
And so am I.
But I think a good way to describe this drink would be refreshing, fun, and strong.
Well, that
All
is definitely
things
Paige.
that Paige
Aww.
is. So let's get into a little bit of the ingredients. So 2 shots of vodka.
Perfect.
Paige likes vodka. We know this about Paige.
That's it.
A half a shot of mango-infused vermouth.
Oh.
So
I didn't even know vermouth could be infused with anything besides itself. So
yeah, well, so
that doesn't make sense, but it does to me.
Part of the setup for this was actually dicing up a mango and soaking it in the vermouth overnight.
Oh, that's
So
how
this
that
is-
happened.
Yes, yeah. I don't think this is something you can just buy. So, so that was part of the prep, which was a lot of fun. I've got some footage of that. I'll try to mix in, and then a teaspoon of Aperol. So
I honestly don't know what that is, which is
sounds like-
crazy. I've bartended for about 20 years, and I have no idea what that is.
Is that medicine for back pain? Because I could take some right now.
the whole thing. Actually, maybe that's what we should call the drink. That could be the name. Just back pain. I don't know. So the I want to like, because you keyed in on Aperol as like I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
So Aperol is a brand of what's called an aperitif.
Go on.
Yeah, right. Sounds very sophisticated, doesn't
Oh,
it?
man.
Or if you're Italian.
I should have a cat I'm petting.
It's been a while since I've seen a nice pair of teeth.
Or if you're Italian, it's aperitivo. Paige is waiting. Let's see if we can get
Our daughters.
Yep, there she
over
is. Yeah,
Do you want to come say hi?
yeah.
Are you going to come back, she
This
says?
is Mila. Yeah, Mila.
All right, bye.
The cute and sweet and ever joyful Mila Baker. Yeah. So anyway, back to aperitif. Or if you're Italian, aperitivo, and Aperol is a brand of aperitif, and the podcast is called Ampéritif.
Oh.
And so that's just a play on aperitif podcast. Ampéritif comes from a combination of aperitif and Amp It Up Digital. So Amp It Up Digital is my digital promotions company And so the podcast is a project, we'll say, of Amp It Up Digital. So Ampéritif. Now, what is an aperitif? An aperitif is a before dinner drink. It's usually a little sweet that you enjoy before a meal that is intended to stimulate your appetite.
So before breakfast.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, the idea with Ampéritif is that, this sort of like, instead of before a meal, it's before a show. So we're talking about music. Generally, the guests are going to be musicians or entertainers of some kind. And so we're going to have a drink and talk about, the industry, their career, and, kind of their background. So anyway, that's a little bit of the background about what is Aperol, the ingredient to our drink, as well as, how that ties into the name of the show and kind of some of the inspiration. So with that, let's get into the making of the drink. So I don't know how this is going to go. I am going to switch to this camera here. And
Do we come over or do we stay here?
You guys can just stay there.
Okay.
Although I might need some help. So
I'm your gal.
Right. Then you can come over. So one of the things that I was wondering about. So this is a vodka martini ultimately.
Ooh.
And so
That's margarita.
we've all heard of like the shaken not stirred from James Bond. So he wants his martini shaken not stirred. Apparently, stirred is the normal way to have a martini, but I don't know what that actually means. Like, do you stir it with a stick? Do you sort of swirl it around? Do you know?
Well, I mean, shaken is in a shaker.
Do you know
Not stirred is when you just throw it all in on like a little bit of ice. I mean, that's what I put a couple bits of ice in there.
Yeah, and you just.
I don't really understand the point.
Yeah.
Maybe not stirred has no ice in it. I don't know. Nobody's ever come to the bar and been like, I would like martini shaken,
Right,
not
yeah,
stirred.
exactly. That's not something anybody in Northeast Wisconsin asks for.
I mean, if somebody even asked for a martini, I'm like, I'm sorry. What? You want old? Did you mean old fashioned?
Is there beer in that?
I usually say, can I get a Busch Light? Don't shake it.
All right. So, okay. What am I doing here? Oh, I need my...
Am I too close? 'Cause I have such a loud laugh that I feel like I'm like destroying everybody's ears.
Yeah, I'll watch the gain. Honestly,
I did it again.
we're a
I
little...
think it was pointing more toward you than me. There we go.
We're not hitting the red here, but we're coming close. So, all right. Well,
I don't know about you. I sound like an angel.
again, this is going to be part of the experiment. I will. I'm going to switch over here so people can see what I'm up to. But yeah, so I'm just putting the ice in. I think the ice is really, frankly, just to cool it off, to cool it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
Make it cold.
You don't. You strain the ice.
That is
out,
what
right?
ice does. Thank God.
Right. Amazing. All right, so I'm just putting some ice in a cup here, and so let me ask you, Paige, you spent a little bit of time around, behind the bar.
A lot of time.
Yeah. Do you, when you're measuring out a shot, do you use a shot glass, or do you
No,
just go,
I count.
You just count.
I just assume because
like
I've
one,
made so
two?
many.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, the stronger the better. Just
Well, so, all right. So I'm gonna try to. I think I can fit 3 of these into one glass.
that's what she said.
I'm gonna go with. Let's see. So when you count, like, how many seconds? Like, what's one shot?
I'd have to see it.
Oh, okay. So you got to see it coming out of the bottle.
Go over there. You can go over there.
Yeah, come on over.
I'll make it too strong. You know me.
Go
You
help.
do you.
This drink has never
All right,
been
I'm
made
coming.
before, so I don't think there is a too strong.
Do you have a shot glass?
I do. Yeah, I have lots of shot
Oh, then
glasses.
just use the shot glass.
Yeah, I could do that.
Oh, okay. I'll go back. I'm excited. Nobody ever makes me drinks. I'm always making everybody drinks.
Well, all right.
I tried.
Here we go.
Oh, there's Mila again. Hi.
So this
You want
calls
to come
for
say hi?
2 ounces. A shot is 1 ounce, right?
One
I
and a
don't know,
half.
We do ounce and a half.
I mean, a shot glass is actually about 1.5, I think.
It's 1.5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is 2
One
ounces,
high.
so we're just gonna kind of we're gonna guess. I'm not a precise kind of guy, so that's 1 shot glass. That's 2 shot glasses, so that's, I guess that's
Should I
going
bring her
to
in while we're
be 3
making a drink?
ounces. And that's...
Say hi.
All right. So I was noticing when I was reading off the ingredients that there isn't anything in here that's not alcohol.
Oh, well, that's good.
So we've got I just put in the vodka, which is, we've got Tito's here for the vodka. And then for the dry vermouth, we've got, how would you pronounce that, Paige?
Koshi?
Yeah, I didn't know if that would be cocky.
Let's go with Koshi.
Koshi? All right. Coccchi.
Should we not have her here this time?
But anyway, as I said earlier, we mixed in we infused the mango into. So I've got it in a decanter here after I strained off the mango.
Awesome.
But
You're gonna be making a lot of those drinks.
I've only ever seen this on TV, but I know they use this thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then
Well,
you
you
just
hold
sort
it
of
with one hand.
like how do you like that, like that, and then you just sort of pour it in. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try this. See how it goes. So this is intended to have a little bit of a red color to it, a nod to.
Well, it's kind of a mix of all my hair, honestly.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
blonde,
There's,
red, peach.
Oh.
there's a little bit of everything in here. Some.
Don't put any hair in mine, Mike.
All right, and then for garnish here, which you'll see in a minute, there is the mango that was in the vermouth. So earlier we said this is mango infused vermouth. So for garnish, we're going to have vermouth infused mango, which is a really interesting flavor. I'm a big fan of mango. I got to be honest, I don't know that I love this. So here is the garnish.
I imagine that's a little bit of a kind of makes you go.
Let me take a step back and just welcome everybody to the podcast. But cheers to episode 1 and my first guests, Kevin and Paige Baker.
Cheers.
Strong. It's not too sweet.
I
Honestly, it reminds me of something in Mexico.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's not too
I'll
sweet.
have that down very quickly.
We were worried about this being too sweet. It is not too sweet.
I realize like the sound I make as I'm slurping because I can hear
know,
it through
these-
there, and I'm like,
These microphones are very. These would be good for ASMR. Like,
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, if you got some chips, that would be really good for the podcast. Honestly, if you need a theme song, just have somebody eating chips.
speaking of theme songs, I did have this kind of idea that everybody should have a little music to welcome them in. So we'll see if this works. And it's not working. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
that sounds like something Kevin would
Right?
love.
Yeah.
Oh, funky.
Yeah. Right.
get it.
Yeah. So welcome to the Ampéritif podcast. This is episode 001. If this seems kind of clumsy, it's because we're working out the kinks. But I'd like to welcome my guests, Kevin and Paige Baker.
That's baby making.
Like kinky.
music, right?
Yeah. So Kevin and Paige are the dynamic musical duo that is at the heart of Boogie and the Yo-yoz. Kevin and Paige are, of course, married to each other, but they're also both in the same band.
We are? Nice to meet you.
And
You're
I
fantastic.
don't think it's
Real
too much
fan.
to say the heart and soul. I know this is a big group, Paige obviously very kind of front and center as a lead female vocalist, and just kind of always with the charisma and stage
I'm
presence.
not
that
the
you have.
greatest talker, but you put a song in my face, and I can do the charisma
and,
thing.
Yeah, you got it, absolutely. And Kevin, behind the drums, so maybe not as visible, but certainly an integral part of the success of the group as not just the drummer, but also the manager and music director. And, there's probably a number of other hats that you wear.
Well, when you have 60 cymbals, it's kind of hard.
I mean,
to see
I can
you.
see me, so that's all that matters.
Is that your reflection in
the plexiglass? Yeah,
Right.
that's why I got those. Those are actually mirrors.
Genius. Little self-affirmation.
Yeah.
You're good enough. So, but anyway, I know Kevin and Paige because we happen to be in the same band, but not at the same time. So we were in the band at different times, and there was no overlap except when I've come back here and there to just kind of help out or do a cameo part. So, and so of course I've gotten to know them over that time span. And I have to say, Kevin, like exactly when we met doesn't stick in my head. But I remember
I had that much of an impact on you. All right.
Well, it's kind of like, you're just around and, it's what probably
When we met, it didn't stick in my head either.
15
don't
years
worry.
ago, I'd have to guess.
I couldn't tell you either, but yeah, probably in the mid aughts, I guess,
Yeah.
that era. And
Yeah.
but that was before you were subbing or anything like that, though, right?
Right. Yeah. It was just kind of an in-between period. I don't
Yeah.
think I had been doing a whole lot at that time, but I do remember the first time I saw Paige on stage.
Me too.
You remember the first time you saw me at a bar?
Whatever.
Like 5 years before I was even in the band. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, no, because what I remember thinking is like, wow, that was a great addition. Like when I was thinking about like the character of the band, the energy on stage, the persona, I just thought they got something right there. And not that your predecessors weren't that, but I remember thinking those thoughts like, hey, and she's not bad on the eyes.
Right.
Well, I mean, as a human, I have doubts. I think even to this day, I've been in the band for how many years?
10 and a half.
And I still am like, I need to be better. I need to do more. And it's just it's a thing in us. So thank you. It makes me feel really good.
It's funny that you say, I was just thinking about this yesterday about how, I'm sorry to go out
No, go
on a
ahead.
little tangent here, but like how no matter at what point in the past 20 years or whatever it's been in my adult life, at what point I'm at, I always look back 5 years ago, I always look back as, I was not that good. And I always, whatever point I'm at, I'm also like, 5 years from now, I want to be better. So
Right.
I guess that means I'm always getting better.
We're always
or at least I think I'm getting
We're
better.
always
but
striving
it's like,
to be better.
you always look back on yourself and you think, oh man, I was terrible. And then so 5 years from now, I'll probably be like, oh gosh, I was terrible. But I guess that means I'm getting better. I don't know. But
No, I think we just strive for perfection. Or I mean, not that we can ever reach perfect, but we're striving to be a better version of ourselves that we were in the
right. I
past.
guess if I ever reach that point where I'm like, well, in 5 years, I don't want to be any better than I am now, then I guess
I guess that means we love what we do. Then.
right. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so that was a tangent. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm with you. I've actually told people recently that I'm the best that I've ever been on sax. So that was kind of my main instrument back in Boogie the Yo-yoz when I was in the band, and I've continued to play mostly in jazz bands, and I kind of feel very much the same way. I've never been as good as I am right now, and I hope to keep getting better, and maybe someday I'll be as good as Jake.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't know if anybody could be as good as Jay. He
it's
is,
gonna be
man.
hard.
There's times during shows where I look at him and I'm like, how is he dancing that hard and breathing that hard and holding that note that long? And I'm over here just like,
He's like 26 years old.
still. He's great.
Yeah. Well, so yeah. Anyway, I don't know where this goes from here, but thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for being my first guest.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
This is, by the way, we're at Mike's house and it's gorgeous.
Yes, I should talk a little bit about the I don't know what you call this, the set, the studio. But we are in my lakeside bar, so we'll get a shot here of the view from the wide angle. You can kind of see the lake out there, and so yeah, that's. I'm hoping, frankly, that this becomes part of the draw. Like, I want to go on Mike's podcast because, he's
got a boat.
He's got a venue. He's gonna make a drink for me, and what could be.
Please invite me
bad about
every
that?
time.
I think if you're gonna go like Howard Stern with this, you need a Robin, so she could be your
Sure,
Robin.
yeah.
You know?
I just saw one outside, actually.
There's all kinds of wildlife out there. It's amazing. It's like a bird sanctuary. But yeah, so anyway, we just got done making the drink, and you guys have tried it.
Spicing me up.
Yeah. What do you think?
That's
Like
good.
honestly, you don't have to be.
I'm
I
not.
like it. I love the vermouth that I can taste in there. I can taste the mango. I can taste the vermouth. That aerosol.
Aerosol, Aperol.
Asper cream.
I don't know what that tastes like, but I think I taste it. I really
Aperol.
do like it, and it's not as sweet as I thought it would be.
I don't know how to lie, so I will be honest.
Yeah.
It is actually really good, and I would
Good.
drink one of these a day. Obviously, it's pretty strong, so you can't really have
Yeah.
more.
Before breakfast,
Yeah,
as you said.
it's obviously a
to cleanse the palate.
pre-breakfast drink.
It is an aperitif. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And by cleanse the palate, you mean like morning breath. Yeah, so it just gets rid of morning.
This will do that.
We just
Yeah.
have this mouthwash in our bathroom.
I don't brush my teeth in the morning. I just take one of these Asper creams.
Oh shoot. Yeah. So first review here on the drink is good.
Yeah.
Which
It's unique. That
yeah,
is for sure. I've never tasted that before.
Yeah. It is unique. It's a brand new drink invented for my guests.
Yeah, kudos to your mixologist.
And one thing you're not getting though is that as I drink, I also smell when I drink, which because they're all connected, the senses. Breathing in when I drink, I smell the mango and the cherry here, which is
sure.
really good. You should try it.
You know what's funny about that? I was so focused on making those little mallets for the two of you that I didn't make myself one.
Oh,
And I need two. I didn't think I need three.
Well, there was a drummer that only used one drum, so you could have had your own. What's that called? What was
Drumstick?
that? No, what's that?
One
guy?
arm?
What was that guy?
Def Leppard?
Yes.
There it is.
So anyway, do you guys like? Is a name popping into your mind for the drink? Because that's part of the deal. You guys get to name the drink, and then we're going to publish the recipe, and then anybody who wants to can make this drink for themselves and enjoy it. And then, of course, we'd love it if they tell us what they think of it.
Maybe we'll have to come back to that. My brain
Yeah,
doesn't work
we can
very
come back
fast.
to it. Yeah, back pain didn't seem quite the right fit.
Yeah, then maybe not.
It doesn't
Definitely helps though. My back feels better. Think about it a little bit.
Yeah, just we'll come back to it. We won't leave here without having a name.
We won't.
I mean,
At least a
We'll be here all
tentative-
day, all night. Shows
tentative
going on
name.
without us.
Yeah.
We're still thinking of a name.
I mean, would Ombre be too on the
oh, that's a good one.
something or Ombre Martini or something like that? Or,
Ombre.
Kevin Baker. Because
Ombre,
literally, if you
meaning
mix
like our hair.
if you mixed all the color of my hair together,
I don't know if you. I don't know if you. Do you know what an ombre is? This is an ombre.
An
kind of
ombre is
hair
where a color goes from another color and blends into itself.
I love that.
I wasn't trying to use a Spanish
no.
word.
No,
That's
Yeah,
what
so you know how
no, I thought you were too like ombre.
No, not
No.
ombre. Ombre. Different.
so you
That's
know,
what I thought you meant.
My hair goes from
Just
red
saying it
to
wrong.
peach to blonde or whatever. I don't know what color it is anymore. That's called an ombre, where a color blends into the next.
I learned that.
I'm going to write that down. How do you spell that?
Do you know? How to,
Ombre.
yeah. Okay. It is.
That's it? Ombre?
I think there might be a hyphen on the E.
Yeah, right.
Wait, a hyphen? Not a hyphen.
The
Or I don't know.
accent.
I'm
An
not.
accent.
I'm not an English teacher.
I don't think there would be because then it'd be ombre. No, it's just Ombre.
That's why I'm a singer.
No accent?
No accent.
No accent.
Oh, yep. Nope.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a trick-taking card game.
Maybe
Google
there's
ombre
another meaning.
hair.
There's got to be another meaning.
Having tones of color that shade into
Oh.
each other, graduating from light to dark.
One of these does have an accent
It
on
does.
the E.
Yeah. Thank you. See,
Wow.
I'm
Genius.
smart.
Genius.
But that means we've been saying it wrong.
Do I-
Look
do
at
I
the
have hair?
family of geese out there.
Sorry, that was way delayed. That was your applause
Was that for the
being
geese?
smart.
So, Paige, so that means we've been saying it wrong all these years. It's actually ombre.
Yeah,
Like
ombre.
like Fleet Farm.
Oh my.
Ombre. Yeah, now we got to get a sponsorship from Fleet Farm.
Oh, shoot. And I already said Bush Light, too. Shoot.
I got it. That's it.
I love that.
That's beautiful. That's
I love
perfect.
that.
Yeah, that's the name I've written.
But I hope people understand it's not ombre. It's
No,
ombre.
ombre has an H in front of it.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's a silent H.
Hombre.
Hey,
Ombre.
what's up, hombre?
So this is
The
is
geese
great. I
have 3
love this.
babies.
Yeah,
That's a great name.
I like it.
Ombre.
Oh, do you got a little family out there? Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Sidetracked.
So whenever you do that, I got to go to the wide shot. So everybody can see. I don't know if you can see him on camera. I should have done a better job of like cleaning up my patio. This is just how.
Oh no, that's spring. There's
it's
so
just-
much work that needs to be done.
But that's where everything was like all winter long.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything out there, so
Yeah, this is horrible. How dare you?
right. It's awful.
Is that a swan?
Probably a trumpeter swan. Yeah,
Are
that's
you kidding me?
that's the right time of year for them.
No trombones.
No, just the trumpeters, and they're beautiful, but they trumpet.
Mean.
They trumpet
Really?
in the evening, like from the hours of midnight and 4 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, and so when there's
What sound does it
1,000
make?
of them up there,
Can you tell me?
I don't think I can come up with that.
What is their range? I mean, if we're looking for a sub.
It's pretty narrow.
okay.
Yeah, I think maybe an
we'll
octet.
We just have John out here on his patio with his trumpet.
I hope there's enough like so we could zoom in on the swan as it's floating by. But
there's like
the
3.
resolution might be really rough. Like it's zoomed in quite a ways.
They're pretty far away.
Yeah.
It's only 100 feet. 1,000 feet. That's my daughter's.
As
So
I was just
what
going
are you eating right now? Are you eating the mango?
The
or
mango and the cherries.
So do you like the mango?
Oh, I am obsessed with mango.
I
did.
know, but this mango.
I did. I still liked it.
in the
yeah.
vermouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can definitely taste it.
Okay. It was. I mean, you can. It's a little bitter for my taste. That's why I was curious.
Oh,
So-
you like sweet drinks?
I do. Yeah. I'm a foo-foo
Oh yeah,
kind of guy.
you're always asking for those White Claws, aren't you? Oh, now we got another sponsorship. I'm sorry.
Oh, quick trip. Hold on.
I called them. Yeah. Yeah. I talked to them. They said we'll let you know.
Yeah, that was 6 months ago, right?
It was a couple months.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, I wanted to. Somewhere I printed something that were some notes for me to kind of think through the sequence of events. So
The printer wasn't working.
printer wasn't working. We're totally winging this, and that's okay. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time just on maybe a little bit of background on you guys.
Yeah.
Kind of starting with like, where did the passion for music come from? Like, what do you remember about growing up and like, I really want to be a musician?
Well, I'm Polish.
And
And you play the accordion?
A little bit.
But not really. No. No. So you wanna? Well, go ahead. You're first. I was just.
no, you can go first.
He said background. I was saying Polish. But
Go on.
go ahead and tell your story about how you.
Okay. My grandmother was in a band. She's an accordion player. She's also Polish. And so she traveled all around America. Well, not traveled per se, but like she would go winter down in Arizona. I knew it started with an S.
Arkansas.
And she would go winter down in Arizona and she'd be in a band. And I mean, I remember as a kid, she was always playing piano, always playing accordion, and all of us grandkids were dancing and singing with her all the time. And our family just was, accustomed to music was always going to be played whenever the family got together. So that definitely got me loving singing. And I never wanted to play an instrument. I tried in high school or junior high or whenever you start. I just didn't like it. I don't know. I just have such a short attention span. Ooh.
Hey, weren't you a drummer?
That was genius. Was that on purpose? Can
Yeah.
you slide the microphone just a little bit? It's covering a page. Like
She keeps turning it toward her.
Go to your right. Yeah, like just ever so slightly. A little bit more if you can.
This way.
Yes. Yeah.
Am I that loud? I guess I'm
No,
pretty
no, no.
diaphragmatic.
It's
the camera.
It's just camera. It's
camera.
It's covering your
Oh.
face. So it's just trying to get.
You don't
it.
want to see
And
this.
I know, like Kevin, like you and I, it's like right between the two of us, but camera angle is perfect. So
All right.
So yeah, and then I just always loved singing. I always sang by myself, and it was just the thing I did. And then one night I was, I know, shocker, drunk at a bar. I think I was only like 21, obviously. And one of my now still buddies, Nick Marth. Thank you. Nick Marth was at this bar in Marshfield, and he's like, "Hey, you have a really good voice. Do you want to start a band?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." He's like, "No, I'm serious. You have a really good voice." I'm like, "Sure, cool. Here's my number." Didn't think he'd call, and yeah, we started a female-fronted band, and everybody had to go their separate ways for different reasons, so that kind of broke up. And then I went into a heavy metal band, and
Heavy metal.
heavy metal, yeah.
Really?
How many years were you in that heavy metal band?
Was it 3 or 4?
What was the name of the band?
Get Bent out of Wausau. And it was a great band. Like, it was really fun, but like, my voice is not meant to do those things.
No
wouldn't
one's
think so.
No one's is.
And I not being able to speak for days and days after was just not very enjoyable to me. So I was going to quit. And then, Drew Hamill, who was in my first band that I was asked to be in, reached out to me and asked me or said, "Hey, they're looking for a new female singer in Boogie the Yo-yoz." And I literally told my band Get Bent, I had quit like the week before. And I didn't quit. I said, "You have a month and I'm done." And I said, "The only way I'll continue singing is if Boogie the Yo-yoz by chance needs a singer." I genuinely said that because I was just in love with Boogie and the Yo-yoz. And sure, SHIT. You okay?
I'm just snort laughing.
Drew Hamill reached out and said, "Hey, do you see that they need a new female singer for Boogie and the Yo-yoz?" And I was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" So yeah, tried out and...
So talk to me a little bit. Had you met any of the guys in the band before?
So...
Or the gal?
Yes.
Yes, I'll let her tell a story.
Okay.
It was
Who was your obsession in there, Paige? Yeah.
I was in love with Eric Peters. Like, oh my God, just look at him go. And every time I went to watch a show, it was just fixated on Eric. And so
I didn't know that.
So it's not that I had a crush on him or anything. He was just, he's still adorable, and he was then too. And so they played a show, and it happened to be like, I wasn't at the show. I think it was, you guys were playing CMN. That was when you guys were playing at that like Eagles Club
in
yeah.
Nashville,
And
yeah.
so it was my birthday, and I was with my ex-husband, and the band ended up showing up. I knew exactly who they were. No clue who this guy was. Like, nobody sees him anyways.
Oh no, you're talking about on your birthday. That was at someplace else. We showed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's not, I'm sorry.
Oh,
we were
got
at
done with
the bar was someplace else. I didn't go to their show.
Got it. Sorry.
But for my birthday, we went to someplace else, and the band ended up showing up there. And, I was, talking with Nikki and Eric, and that's all I remember. Kevin said he introduced himself. I have no memory of him. I was just like, "I'm sorry, who you are?" Probably.
I'm a very forgettable human being.
Apparently, like there's a theme here today. Sorry about that.
This is why I got the mirrors.
Yes, he does. So anyways, what's funny is when we started dating, he finally admitted to me, he goes, "Just so you know, I remember that meeting like it was yesterday." He goes, "I know exactly what you were wearing." He's like, "You had a red tube top on, or what did I have? A red
Just tank top.
tank top, yeah, red whatever." He's like, "You had jean shorts on and black heels." And I was like, and I look back on Facebook at my pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, he's right. And he goes, "I've remembered you ever since." And he said,
Let's just be clear here. I'm not a stalker or anything. This is not a stalker vibe. It was just like, oh, wow, that girl's really good looking. That's all.
But he didn't say when I put in my video for Boogie the Yo-yoz, maybe this pushed me a little forward. When I sent in the video, again, no idea who I'm sending this video to, sent it in, to try out. And he said that when he watched the video, he goes, "That's that girl. That's that girl that was at the bar." And so maybe it helped me. Did it help me
No, you were also the best voice.
Good answer.
There was no...
Was it the low-cut shirt?
No. I know that's a common myth about this whole process, but you were definitely the most talented applicant.
Yeah, I don't
Vocally.
think, I don't think, what now, a decade or more later, nobody can argue the choice, right?
I mean, no,
It was-
absolutely. Not.
Yeah, it was the best. It was the right choice. So, Kevin, I want to hear your story. Like, where did you begin? Kind of your passion for music, but I also kind of want to hear, like, how did you guys end up together? Are you guys? Is that a story? Is that fair game?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
It's all fair game.
I think it's fair.
We're in the public a lot, so I think everything's open.
Yeah. I'll give you the short version
Well,
of me.
how? Oh yeah, you're gonna do.
I mean,
how
yeah.
you
So
got
I
into music first?
obviously growing up, I did the whole band in 5th grade thing, right? Started from there, but I actually at one point quit band for like a week or two, and somebody said, "You idiot, get back in band," and I said, "Okay," because I wasn't that into it, honestly. It wasn't until I was like a junior in high school I got like much more serious about it, and that's when I first started writing my own music and trying, figuring out all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what springboarded me into like I want to do this for a career. So in one way or another, I want to do this for a career. I mean, so I went to college. I was going to be a band director, a band teacher, and until my 3rd year of college, and I had to go into the schools and observe existing band teachers, and I said, oh no, I can't do this. No, I would not be able to handle children. So I instantly changed my major and got out of the education field. And so I was just going for performance and not even performance. I was going for writing, music theory and composing. But I didn't last much longer after that. I then joined a polka band.
Because you're Polish.
Well, no, for real. Right, I am from Pulaski, and here's the funny story. I grew up, obviously, my entire life in Pulaski, and there's polka everywhere, but I was never affiliated with it. And then all of a sudden, I'm a 21-year-old, college dropout or whatever, and my high school band director, Tom Bush, says, "Hey, what's your social life like?" I said, "Well, it's all right. Pretty boring." He goes, "You want to be in a polka band?" He didn't say, "Do you like polka music?" He didn't say, like, "Can you play this stuff?" He said, "What's your social life like?" So, and don't get me wrong. The polka genre has lots of good musicians, but those guys like to party, and so I'm in.
Brandy.
Oh God,
This is I don't think this is what, like, when he says, what's your social life like?
Yeah.
My thought was, because it's not going to get any better.
right? No, and honestly, I spent 3 years with those guys. It was probably the best.
Do you remember it?
I mean, like, it was just. There was a lot of. Can we do another name drop? Zhenevka. So much that I can't even smell that stuff anymore. Anyway,
I wasn't even in a polka band. Even in
Yeah.
a polka band, I can't smell it.
It's funny. Those guys party like rock stars, apparently.
So, and this is a true story. Not many people know, but in 2000, I had just joined in early 2000. Later in 2000, Boogie was looking for a new drummer, and this is when Brandon was leaving, and who was it that reached out to me? I don't remember who it was, but Andy Pagel reached out to me.
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, I'm actually kind of enjoying what I'm doing with this. I didn't know who Boogie the Yo-yoz was. And I said, I'm kind of enjoying my time with this polka band. We're doing some fun things, whatever. So I recommended my friend, my college classmate, Tim Patterson. So Tim Patterson became the drummer for 2 years because of my recommendation. 2 years later, Tim was going off to grad school in California, and he was leaving the band. It came up again. And at that point, I had figured out who Boogie was, seen him a few times, realized that, holy cow, that'd be a lot of fun. So as soon as Tim said he was leaving, he said, "Do you want to audition?" I said, "Absolutely." And I auditioned. I don't know if it was even a good audition, but I had this connection to Tim. Kind of gave me a good recommendation, and so I got in. And no, I mean, I was mostly like, prior to Boogie, I'd never played in a rock band. I was playing jazz, and I obviously played polka for a little bit. But I wasn't even really a good rock drummer, or I don't know. I had to learn how to play rock in a rock band, that kind of thing. So and Dave and Eric used to tell me about it too. Yeah, you're playing too much like a jazz drummer. Just hit the bastard. Hit the bastard. Anyway,
Now he's breaking
and
stuff left
now
and right.
they're like, God, you hit so.
Can you just
loud."
rein it in a little?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my story. So that was back in 2022. I joined. So I've been in the band for just over 20 years now. So if you want to talk about how we met,
Yeah.
well, we just talked about how we met the first time, which
Yeah.
you don't remember.
Right,
but-
right.
So when we joined the band, or I'm sorry, when I joined the band, he was trying to take a picture of me for another girl. And the girl said,
Just to say, this is the new girl
literally
in the
my
band.
first practice,
Okay.
the first practice, this girl said, don't go falling in love with her.
She did, yeah. And this was a girl who didn't want to date me, even though I liked her. But she said, yeah, just do me a favor and don't date Paige, or don't go after Paige.
But I was with somebody already.
Right. Yeah, Paige was already with somebody, and first of all, but she's like, I don't like you, but you can't go after somebody else.
Yeah, but did she know Paige, or was it
No,
more, was
no.
more about you?
She was from Iowa.
No.
Okay.
Can I
So
say
it was
that?
about like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she didn't know
Obviously,
anything
that
about
would have been a
Paige.
very good relationship. So I'm glad it didn't happen. But yeah, so Paige and I just became really good friends right away, pretty much.
Yeah. And I always needed a place to stay at. And so it was always at his apartment, which nothing ever happened. None of because I looked at him like my brother. I was just like, we were just close and like we got along really well and both enjoyed the same activities like drinking. And I'm kidding.
No, I never drank before you.
Me neither. We started it together. No, totally kidding there. No, I just, when I lived 2.5 hours away, I needed somewhere to stay, especially if we had 2-3 shows in a row. And so I would just stay at his apartment, like on the fold-out couch in his living room that had a shit ton of ants.
You can't say ants on the radio.
You didn't spell it this time.
A-N-T-S.
Yeah.
Crawling all over it. Like, oh my gosh, your apartment was disgusting.
Well, I just,
He was a bachelor, 100%. Anyways, yeah, and we hung out all the time because we, when the band wasn't together and we're spending 3 days together, our off time was always together. And so, it's just I felt like a brother-sister relationship, which sounds weird now that we're married.
Totally sounds weird.
Yeah, I know, sorry. But I think that's what I justified it as because I knew he was starting to like me and I didn't like him. And I was just like, you're like a brother to me. There's nothing going on here. And, I'm married and like, what do you know? And so he got a little drunk one night and said that he wrote me a letter. That's what it was. He wrote me a very beautiful letter telling me that he was in love with me. And I was just like, no, no, I don't think so. I'm like, and I think I maybe texted you or something. I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm with someone else and I'm happy and yeah. And so I wasn't married yet. And, no, I'm going backwards here, aren't I? Mm-hmm. He's like, I want to butt in, but I'm not going to. I had gotten married, but a few days before I got married, he sent me a text after a show and said, I will wait for you forever. And then he wrote me a love song, a song about our life, about what our life could have been like if we would have been together. And it was so beautiful. And I was just like bawling listening to it because I wasn't happy at home. And I'm like, well, he's just an arm's reach away and I could just have it. Like, why don't you just do it? And so yeah, that's actually the song that's tattooed on my arm.
Oh, wow.
And
that's cool.
But I felt like I did it the right way. We didn't do anything. It was emotional. I ended it with my ex. I moved out before I let him know that we were gonna continue it on. And we did, and it's been heaven ever since. You're like the greatest human ever.
So I want to comment. You guys are great because I ask you one question and we get like 10 minutes of content.
I'm like a soap opera.
No, I just want to comment just as a sort of observer. To me, you guys have a very genuine love for each other. There's I'll use the word charming again. Like when I see you guys together, there's been a number of times like maybe between sets or, and we're doing maybe a little bit for social media or something like that. And there's just a connection there that's very tangible. And so I've always admired that. And it seems genuine for what it's worth.
We're really good actors and actresses.
Yeah, right.
She's my
a
dream
life
girl.
on stage.
I had to go through a lot of trout to find my dream girl.
Yeah. So, was it weird in the band, like when you guys started dating?
I think for them, yes.
Yeah.
So we actually had been dating for 2 or 3 months. Nobody knew.
Oh yeah, before we told. Well,
So we hid
kinda,
it.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
obviously me leaving my ex was a lot of negativity for that. But, like, nobody knows what somebody's going through until you walk a mile in their shoes. So nobody knew, like, how unhappy I was at home. And so, yeah. Anyways, what's the question?
Was it weird for the
Oh.
band? Yeah.
So what was funny is we had, was it Jake was subbing? Not that Jake, but Jake Crow.
And I hate to correct you, but it was only like 2 to 3 weeks, not 2 to 3
Oh,
months.
it
But-
feels like forever.
right. Yeah, it was only a few weeks that the
I
band.
don't think we
didn't
can
know.
we couldn't contain it anymore.
But yeah, Jake
it was
Crow was
so
subbing,
frustrating
yeah.
because we couldn't contain it anymore, and it was just like
Yeah.
we still are just always over each other. Get off me. Jake Crow was subbing one night, and this was at Door County. Nobody in the band figured it out. Nobody, which was so weird because, like, we would sit by each other, and I'd, like, have my hand behind his back with, like, a blanket over our shoulder, and nobody would notice. And we finally were going to tell the band that night that we were together, and we said it, and Jake Crow kind of laughed, and he goes, "Are you kidding me? Nobody picked up on this?" He goes, "I've been with you guys for like 3 hours and I noticed it right away."
Oh, jeez.
And it was just kind of funny. They were very worried at first because they're like, "What's going to happen if you
Yeah.
guys break up?
Yep. Mhm.
Like, what's going to happen to the band?" And we're like, we had already, 2 days into dating, we had already booked our wedding venue. Like, we knew we were going to get married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had
were-
it, well, and so we wanted to get married in summer, and we knew we had to take the date off for the band because the band.
Yeah.
So we actually took the weekend off like 2 years in advance, and somebody eventually caught onto the
Yeah.
Tom. He said like,
Tom.
"Why are you guys off in August of 2016?" And this was 2014. I said, I didn't want to what to say at the time, but like I was like, "Oh, I don't know, it's we're making plans or whatever." Right? But yeah, I think that a few of the members were a little bit more. They just thought that it was kind of like. It was a new dynamic for sure because they looked at both of us like siblings. And so now all of a sudden 2 of your siblings start, like you said, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like also it's like 2 of your siblings start dating. It's like just.
Which is weird to say, but yeah, it was just a matter of like, well, what if this doesn't work? And it's like, we know it's gonna work. Like we're just like each other's person. We knew it.
Yeah.
And that whole saying, like, when you know, and we knew. And yeah, it was just like, it has been fire since day one.
Never been a doubt.
Never since, like, and so we've been together for how many years now?
8.5.
I was
8.5.
going to say you got to
And
be coming up on 9.
We still, like,
Yeah. And, you know,
we're not going to do it here, but it's still really hot. Not it. No, I meant like just kissing. Oh my God, people.
so people do say, another thing they say is to marry your best friend.
Yes.
And so we were kind of talking about your relationship prior to the romance. So, you know, in a lot of ways, you guys have known each other for years. So I suppose it felt like why
Yeah.
why wait?
Right.
Well,
there
and
was
I
no
feel like
question.
too, like a lot of women like projects that they can fix these men and whatever. Get a guy that's already fixed.
You can't fix
That's already
perfection.
perfect.
Already
Like,
fixed. You know,
that's
that has a
very
different meaning
sweet.
too.
Like, yeah, and good guys. What do you say?
Getting fixed has a different meaning.
It's already fixed. Like, yeah. There's nothing to worry about here.
But like, there's a saying: "Good guys finish last." No, good guys always finish.
It
first.
takes a long time, but
Slow and
eventually.
steady wins the race.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh,
that's
babe.
the other.
Yes.
Just gonna shut up. Oh look, geese.
Oh no. So, well, thank you for sharing, you know, the background there and kind of going into. I didn't expect the kind of detail, but it's a very sweet story.
There's a lot more, obviously.
And,
but that's the
and I'm
gist.
sure there's lots of drama and.
Well, that's just with his ex-wife.
We'll edit that out. Yeah. So, kind of transitioning maybe into more of like careers and music. One of the things that I've always kind of wondered is, as two career musicians in the same band together with a 5-year-old daughter, like, how do you do it? I suppose people ask you that question all the time. I know I'm thinking it all the time.
It really is stressful. Just a matter of, because like the closest family member lives 2.5 hours away, 2 hours, 20 minutes away or so, which is my mom and dad, who are separated, which is kind of a benefit for me because my dad can watch her one night, my mom watches her the next. And, but my mom takes on most of the load of watching her. And I'm so thankful for it. And a lot of times, since she lives in Loyal, she'll meet us in Point. So that takes off 2 hours of driving for us. But then we have babysitters, and some work out, some don't. And, it is it's really stressful.
It's stressful to try and make sure we always have sitters. And then, like she said, when there's extra driving involved, sometimes we'll do 5 hours of driving just for one show. And it's like, well, okay.
5 hours of driving just for our daughter,
Right.
not including the show.
Right. And
Yeah.
so, but I would say that it's probably also stressful, let's say, if we weren't both in the band and only one of us was at home with the five. Like everybody in a band, everybody in a band has, or no, I shouldn't say everybody. Most people in a band have somebody who's staying home with the rest of the family every weekend, and how many times? That's 60 times a year for us, about, and so I guess that would also cause stress. So there's give and take. Like, I love that we're in the band together because
Yeah. I love getting to turn back and look up at you and like just smiling and like if we're having a bad night, like just we make each other feel better. But
I would never want to be in a band and have her being back at home, and I would never want to be back at home while she's up in a band. So like,
I mean, literally this last week I was kind of stressing out about how busy our schedule is. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Like, babysitters are expensive. Like, the driving is just getting exhausting. Like, taking our tune from Central Wisconsin, and he's like, you can't quit. He goes, I can't be in this band without you.
Okay, I'm going to switch gears again, and I want to talk a little bit more about music and the business of music, but also music itself. And so my question, I'm thinking, I want to ask Kevin this question. Is there a song that Paige sings that you like, that's your favorite? You just love it when Boogie does that song and you get to watch Paige out in front?
Yeah, actually, we haven't done it in a while though, and I think one of my favorites that she did was "Alone" by Heart. It's just so, it's like, it's delicate, but then it's so like powerful at the same, at a different part of the song, and just seeing Paige's wide range and the power that she can put behind that song. I also like drumming to it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to drum along to. Yeah.
There's a part in that song that I turn around and Kevin is just going to town drumming, and he's just got this big smile. Of course, I'm like listening to everything that I don't want to like. I'm like, oh, you sound terrible there, Paige.
Critical.
Oh, listen, I'm so critical.
Criticize yourself.
Make it stop.
I totally know how you feel, because one of the things I was really nervous about with this podcast was my voice. I hate the sound of my voice.
You have a really soothing voice.
It's very, like, in some ways, like this sort of soft, smooth voice, but it's not deep and manly and booming. And it's not a radio voice, right? It's kind of. But anyway, my point is.
Great voice.
I think that we're all very critical. That was just too abrupt, wasn't it? I think that we're all very critical of ourselves, right? That's just our natural tendency. And I think there's a perfectionist element of being in music that's in all of us, right? We get this sort of sense of, I want it to be perfect.
Yes.
And if it's not perfect, I'm not going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my main reason I can't talk on stage is because when I hear it, I think the whole band has both their ears in. I keep one out. my right ear out.
By ears, she means ear monitors.
Ear monitor, sorry.
Right, yeah.
Everybody, lend me your
Like,
ears.
everybody's got false ears that they're putting on.
Like on,
Citizens, lend me.
on Men in Tights. So I keep my left ear inside and my right ear out, and so I can hear all the monitors going out. When I hear myself speaking, it's like when you hear yourself on a voice machine or voicemail, and you're like, oh God, that's what I sound like. And the second I start talking, I'm like, oh God, it's awful. And I just want it to end. And so I just panic and I just like well up inside me and just like I just look at the band is really good at knowing when I have completely lost it. Like, somebody help me.
They'll just step
Somebody
in
help me.
and,
Yeah. And
like,
they instantly jump in and they're just like, well,
yeah.
just sing, Paige, just sing. Okay. Where's my drink?
Yeah. So, being a front person is a unique skill. I can relate to that.
Skill I don't have.
But I don't, for what it's worth, I don't think you do bad.
She's too hard on herself.
Yeah.
She does, so that's part of being a leader of any group or any performing group is you have to find a way to command the audience. And when she's singing, she definitely commands the audience.
No question.
When she's talking, she just doesn't give herself a chance because she doesn't have confidence in her talking. So if you just gave yourself a chance and just actually, followed through with what you want to say instead of being like, oh, I sound so stupid.
I think my problem is while I'm talking, my whole brain is going, you sound so stupid. You sound ridiculous. Why are you speaking right now? Stop speaking.
Get out of your head.
And so while my mouth is saying something, my brain is it's that like brain explosion emoji of like, just stop. And I've been told, since Steve has left, they're like, you've really stepped up and you've really been talking better and this and that. And I'm just like, I don't see it. Like, I feel super uncomfortable. It's just not my thing. And, one thing I had realized, and I know this is going to sound kind of stupid. I follow this guy who has a really, really, really bad stutter, but he can sing perfect. And somebody wrote something really mean to him and said, obviously you can sing, so you don't have a stutter. And he came back with a response and said, you sing with one side of your brain. That's one side of your brain is for memory. The other side is for things that you just have to make up on the fly, like just going off the cuff. And so the one side doesn't work properly. So when he has to talk, that's why he stutters, because he can't think fast enough.
Sure.
And when I heard that, I was like, my talking brain doesn't work. My singing brain is fine.
It's also why some, actors are better improvisers than others. Like some are like, oh, they can act out a script word for word, no problem. Others are like, they seem too, rigid or whatever when they're doing something scripted, but when they're just improv people, they're just hilarious.
Well, my experience with people who are really good at acting or being on stage are generally socially awkward. Like that's not unusual. They're great up there on stage or behind a camera, but then you try to engage them in a conversation, and it's just weird.
I'm socially annoying in person. I know I am.
Baby,
you can't
you're not
shut me up
annoying.
ever. I can talk your head off, but you get me on stage and that's acting. Like, it's not that I'm acting. I'm genuinely happy up there, but like for me to have to think of things, and especially when we do our Christmas show, there's certain things I have to say, and I feel like I'm a robot saying them like, but you get me out here and I'm just like, well, I'm good.
Right,
Or like just talking like normal. I can do that, but get me in front of people and I just shut right down.
Yeah. Well, and that's, for what it's worth, one of the things that I think has contributed to the staying power of Boogie the Yo-yoz for what? 27 years? Is the diversity of the group. So, everybody's got different strengths. And so there's, that sort of give and take or ebb and flow of, kind of leaning into different talents or strengths throughout the show that comes together very cohesively. There's not really a thought or a plan put into it, but there's a chemistry that just works. And I've always continued to be impressed that that the guys over all these years with all of the rotation of different members, continue to find that chemistry with the new groups. And to some extent, I feel like the longevity is maybe actually because of that change of pace, and it gives it some kind of freshness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But that's mostly outside observation. I haven't been a regular member of the group in over 20 years myself. So
I think it's only been in the last like 5 years when we have new members, and I'm like, for the first 5+ years I was in the band, I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Someone's quitting, and now it's like, oh, we'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not that we are. I mean, we're devastated when somebody quit or leaves,
Yeah.
but it's like I know we'll find somebody that'll fit us, and the last person did.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, then it's always like, okay, when the new people come in, we got to figure out what are their strengths and how do we utilize those. So we're definitely a slightly different vibe from 2 years ago, even, when Lorenzo's only been in the band for 2 years, and so your sound changes a little bit. You change up a few songs and that kind of thing, but he's also been very versatile in going out of his comfort zone, to sing stuff that he normally wouldn't sing, and so that's good too. You got to be in this band. You got to play stuff sometimes that you isn't always your cup of tea, because we're a variety band. We're an everything band, and so I would say that we have to play half a dozen country songs a night, and probably half the band doesn't really care for country music.
Right.
And vice versa. If you got to play a hard rock song, it's not really my cup of tea, but I'll play it, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, definitely, like you said, with the change of members, definitely adds a refreshment. Speaking of which,
they're quite refreshing.
Yeah, right, refreshment.
Yeah.
One thing I really like, so when new people come in, I tend to slightly get annoyed because I'm like, you didn't do what the last guy did. I want you to do what the last guy did. But then they put their own spin on the song or on stuff.
Then you like it better.
And then I'm like, okay, that was amazing.
That
like
works too.
You made the song sound a little different, but like I like it better now. And it's like he said, everybody has brought in their own different sound. Since Lorenzo's come in, we've become, and people have said this too, like we've become a little heavier. And we're not heavy by any means, but Lorenzo has a really great rock voice. Mm-hmm. And
I've become a little heavier, but that's because of age. That's age.
I blame COVID.
Yeah.
But I love that. Like, I'm loving the new songs that he's brought in, his new sound, and his energy. Oh my God. He has so much energy. I'm like, I'm just trying to keep up. I'm back there just trying not to pee myself. And like, he's just jumping up and down. I'm like, no, he's fantastic. And so, yeah, I mean, when Steve left, I was like, there's no way anyone can replace him. No way. Absolutely no way. And I like had that attitude even when Lorenzo came in. Like, you're never going to be Steve. And you're right. Or I'm sorry. I'm right. He will never be Steve. He's a different version of himself and brings a different version to Boogie. And I needed to be open to that of like, he is perfect on his own.
Right.
I don't need him to be Steve. He can just be Lorenzo and be great. Like, and so that's what he's done. And he's brought this amazing dynamic to our band.
One of the things that I've like noticed from social media is that people identify with different versions of Boogie the Yo-yoz.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I started following the band, these were the members, and you can almost kind of date, their origins based on who was in the band at that time.
Yeah, right.
So, hey guys, I just took a peek at the clock, and we probably do need to wrap up here to get you guys to your show. So you're playing tonight. Where's the show, and what's it for?
Fond du Lac. We are playing a private party for Mid-States Aluminum.
All right, excellent. And have you played for them before?
Nope, first time.
First time? All right. Well, I hope that they are a lively bunch and that they start off hot and, ready to dance and get into the show and not just sit in their chairs and watch you guys.
Yeah, give us the energy.
Yeah, I know how that can be at the private shows, when you don't want to...
A little calmer.
you don't have the big crowds. And, funny story, when I was in the band as a sax player, Eric threw in a lot of the horn songs in those shows because they were like more easy listening, I think, maybe, just background noise. So, but anyway, I don't know what's Paige is wandering off here. Oh, are we bringing Mila in?
Okay. Grab your jacket. Okay, come on. I'll jump up. You keep talking,
Yeah.
sorry.
No. We were just waiting for Mila to come in. Hi, Mila.
Hi. I was outside.
Yeah? What did you see out there?
I don't know.
Well, you saw the lake. Did you see any birds?
One bird.
One, yeah. Was it a big bird or a little bird?
Medium bird.
A medium bird. What color was the bird?
Kind of brown, kind of orangish.
Brown and orange. I'm going to say robin. What? I'm going to guess robin. That's my guess. So,
Wow.
what time do you want to be on the road?
We kind of have to go.
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
right, okay.
Yeah.
We
But
can do a few more minutes, get some Milo
If you-
stuff in there. Oh, your
and if
hands
you
are
wanted
cold.
to, if there's something else that you really wanted to get, we could do
Spend
something
a little
tomorrow
time
morning.
tomorrow. Sure. Yeah. Maybe we'll play that by ear, but just maybe as a kind of parting thought. One of the things I want to try asking each guest that comes on the show is a little bit of like what wisdom would you pass on to someone, like if you could talk to yourself 20 years ago or 10 years ago about being in the music industry and being a career musician, what advice would you give yourself?
Well, first of all, advice for life: always tell the girl how you feel. And then 7 years later, you'll have one of these. Hey, dub 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 dub. As far as the music industry is, don't half-ass anything. If you want to be,
And don't be coarse.
What?
Don't be coarse. It's good advice.
if you want to be a good band, if you don't just want to be another average bar band, spend time making it as close to perfect as you can. Spend time on the details. Find people who can sing harmonies well. Find people who can play their instruments well.
Okay, my turn.
Stealing the show.
Always the pick. Never mind.
Spoken like
I don't know what to say.
There's a
Anyway, to sum up, basically, just if you want to achieve a certain level, you have to put in the time and the effort. It's gonna take time because you have to build your product, but then keep building your show.
Your drink is almost done.
Yes, it is. Build the quality of your show, and that starts from equipment, sound equipment, light equipment, all of that stuff adds to your product. You can't go in with 2 speakers on sticks and
I
expect.
don't know what you're talking about, though.
You can't expect to headline festivals with 2 speakers on sticks. So you have to
you have to invest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's good advice, and I think that speaks to the perfectionist in so many musicians. I think we can all go, yeah, I get that. Paige, what are your...
For life, it would be obviously like, if you're not happy, find your happy. Eat the food. Eat the food. We're all trying to be a certain size. Just eat the food.
Just eat the food.
I like that too. Yeah, just that's part of being happy. I think in the end, it's, don't obsess about
Do you want to sing?
shape and things like that. Anything on the music front?
You want to sing Mommy's new song? Did a full 180.
Crazy. Oh, my favorite song.
Thinking about the
Way singing off to change me.
maybe, but look at what I ended up. I'm so good already. I was to the worst wrong.
Carry all the way you let me in all.
So, if you don't want to see me dancing with somebody,
Dun, dun.
if you want to believe that anything can stop me,
Dun, dun.
Don't
Don't
show
show
up.
up. Don't calm down. Don't start caring about me now. Walk away. You know how. Don't start caring about me now.
Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the words goodbye? Some try to survive you. I'm better on the other side. I'm no good already, so moved on. It's scary. I'm not where you.
wear me at all.
So if you don't wanna see me,
Dance on the body.
Bum, bum.
If you don't want to leave it, Ripkey can stop me.
Bum, bum.
Don't show up. Don't calm down. Don't start caring about me now. Walk away. You know how. Don't start caring about me now.
So we're debuting that song tonight, by the way.
Are you guys really?
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Yeah, and clearly you've been working on it at home.
we listen to it all day, every
Yeah,
day.
I bet.
I know Mama's.
Yeah, all of our new songs always become her favorite new songs.
I love it. She clearly has that one down.
Yeah.
Outstanding. My one lament is I had the wrong camera on like half the time.
Blah, blah, blah.
All right.
We were looking at my face, just
Say
enjoying
blah,
it.
blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's good to see your reaction.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You will know
I figured it out eventually.
action.
So when you guys are gone, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna come back in here. We're gonna get Milo on the microphone.
Oh,
You're gonna do this
nice.
by yourself when mommy and daddy are at their show.
Which we have to leave for
Yeah,
now.
we gotta get
Yeah,
going.
so-
we're gonna put this here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming
gotta blow
on,
your
being my
nose.
first guest. I think, for my part, I couldn't have asked for better. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you again for having us. This is awesome. Anytime. Have us back.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a few other guys. Yeah, thanks again.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
Awesome.
We'd love it if you followed us on our socials. Ampéritif on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. And Ampéritif Podcast on Instagram.